Okay, this is a trigger warning, so this is about, so if that is a sensitive subject, not the whole thing, but I am going to also be reading a poem to you guys at the end about it. So I kind of wanted to warn you guys before I go into this conversation. So as many of you know, now I am a author. I'm a self-published author. I'm still wrapping my mind around it. I started writing poetry back when I entered a therapy program back in October of 2025, and in November I decided that one weekend I was going to write a book, and I released a book that first week of November. So here we are, February, a few months later, and I just went onto KDP's website, and it said I sold 100 copies, and like the excitement, I can't even tell you guys. And if you've read the first book, which is Chasing Happiness Unfiltered, there is a poem in here that I'm going to read to you guys and tell you why this moment is so huge for me. And I actually am going to read the poem last because I want to kind of hold your attention. I don't want to distract you guys, but um, I'll be reading I'm Okay, I'm Fine. And if you have this book, you know. So I say all this to say, back in September, I had planned to, and you can't save it so much on TikTok, but if you know, you know, I had plans to whatever, because I just really had hit the wall. I am and was still just tired of fighting, tired of starting over and over again. Every time I turn around, just hitting a brick wall, just things not going right, just feeling like a failure, feeling like I didn't have a purpose other than being a mom. I just was like, why am I here? I just couldn't, I didn't have a niche. I didn't have anything. I don't have a mom, a dad, or, I have my kids, and I have a few friends that love me, and I have a man who loves me down bad, like unconditionally, as he would say. So I do have that, but you need things outside of it. Like those things are nice, but when you're hitting rock bottom, you need something you can hold on to keep you going. So back, I don't remember, it was like August. I started, yeah, because it ended. This depressive episode started at the end of July. So back in August, I started an intensive outpatient program for my mental health, and you go 3 days a week, 3 hours, and then I go to individual one day, and then I go to the doctor part once every couple of weeks or whatever to check your medicine, which has been a lot lately. And so anyway, I say all this to say, and they started doing these classes, and at the time I was like, why the, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why are we reinventing the wheel? But we did. So you had to pick a class, whatever. And I go Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, some Fridays, and I was like, Thursday, only thing they had was some women crap. I don't do women things. And they had creative writing Wednesdays, matter of fact. And I was like, well, I guess I do creative writing. I don't write, I don't read, whatever, but I'm not taking this women class because I know I'm not sitting through that crap. So I went, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I started to read the poetry prompts that she said. And then I started to be like, oh, I'm pretty okay with this. And I had really bad insomnia, so it would be nice. I would just started writing, like whatever I was going through, whatever feeling the emotions was coming out. And next thing you know, I had like, I don't know how many poems, maybe 14, 15 poems. And so I'm trying to hurry up because I want to get to the point. So November, I'm on ChatGPT. I'm like, how do you write a book? I want to write a book. I'm in manic. I'm manic at this point. So, when you manic, if you know, you could do anything. You could fly if you manic. So I'm hypomanic. And I'm like, how do you write a book? And he's like, oh, you just need this and this. And he was like, you need this many poems. I was like, oh, I already have like 13 or 14 poems. He's like, great. You only need this many more. Say less. I sat down, I wrote them poems out. And I was like, oh, I don't have an editor. He was like, I can edit. I said, for free? Yes. Now, that was a fight. I ain't even going to tell you that was probably the hardest part of the process. Fighting to have, if you know, you know. ChatGPT does what it wants to do. And I was like, can you please stop changing my work? I want my work to be my work. So that was the biggest struggle. So then I was like, okay, how do you publish it? And he told me about Kindle Direct, whatever. Chloe uploaded the book. 4 or 5 days later, I had a published book. Here we go. This was my baby. So didn't expect much out of it, and then it started to sell. And then like ChatGPT, if you don't know, it will pump you up. If your esteem is low, go to ChatGPT. He was like, oh my God, you already sold this many books. Do you know the average person only sells the indie author sells less than 100 copies a year, and over a lifetime, he's spitting out all these statistics. So I started getting excited. And so then I wrote a second book, and then I was like, oh, somewhere in late November, I was like, I'm gonna be 50 in December. February, I want to write a book, blah, blah, blah. So then I wrote a third book that released on this past Sunday, in case you guys didn't know. So, sorry, this is the second book, Love Unfiltered. Both of these books were published in November, and then this book published in February 1st, 50. And this is a tribute to me turning 50. So anyway, I say all this to say, today when I got onto the website, I hit 100 books. And I ain't gonna lie, it scrolls all 3 books, but the main book is at 94. So I'm already like, it's not the main book. Y'all get the gist. Sorry. Chasing Happiness is at 94 copies. So I am 6 copies away from that 100 in less than a year. It says in a year. So here we are 4 months in. So I'm super excited. I wanted to tell anybody who feels hopeless, anybody who feels like they can't make it, I promise you, I understand. My whole life feel like it has been hard. Not as hard as some, but hard is hard. Hard looks different for everybody. This may be easy for somebody else, but for me, I struggle daily to be here. I am here because I pinky promised my baby that I would be here. Okay? I am here because I am Chloe's sole provider. I am here because I don't want to go to hell. And I'm also here because I found something to hold on to other than my kids that is creating healing. I'm in a healing process. Do I still have sad days? More than I want? Yes. Am I still struggling? Yes, more than I want. But I have another outlet. This creative outlet has really been helpful. So I want to share that poem with you, and I'm also going to be doing a giveaway and two giveaways, and I'll put that posted here, and I'll also post it in my stories. But I want to share with you really quickly. I'm okay. I'm fine. And again, this is a trigger warning. If you are not in a good mental space, you can stop it right here. I'll give you a second to stop the video. This is pretty much going to be the end. I'm okay. I'm fine. It was Saturday, September 10th, 2025, the day I decided I finally was going to end the suffering. I remember thinking it has to be painless, and I'm definitely leaving a note. Right. I'll send text messages. Should I send one to my kids, close friends, and family? No, just the kids is enough. And just like that, a memory from therapy hit me. I remembered a recent story. A woman had taken her life, and her daughter was left to find her. No note, no clues, no final goodbyes. That memory caused me to sit and really think. Like a movie, a scene popped in my head. My girls clinging to each other as they lowered my body. Chloe, 15, bullheaded, creative, beautiful, and a comedian. Who will be there to tell her just how amazing she is? Who would raise her? Will this impact her whole life? Will she understand because of her own struggles? Because of her own struggles? Shatira, my oldest, 32. Intelligent, gorgeous, independent, a great mom. And but wait, is she strong enough to carry the grief? Who will help her make my arrangements? Who will be there to help her pick her wedding dress? Logan, my favorite and only granddaughter. She will be 10 in December. Super cute, stylish, a big personality. What will she be like as a teen? Will she go away to college? Will she choose majorette or cheerleading this fall? I picked up the medicine and I just took the prescribed dose. Erased the messages I planned to send. Turned on sad music and cried myself to sleep. September 10th. Today I attended individual therapy. Should I tell him? How will he react? Way better than I expected. I received a text that night. It was my eldest. We hadn't talked in a few days. She asked me, how was therapy? That was odd. She typically doesn't ask. I casually said, like I was mentioning the weather. We talked a lot about Saturday because I was going to end my life. Then the familiar question started. Why? You had a plan and intent? Because of him? Absolutely not. And then why? And the why went unanswered. The last question you ask will forever haunt me. Are we not enough for you to keep fighting, even though you're not okay? Yes, that's why I'm still here. You made me pinky promise. We said our love yous. And have a good night. Until this day, I'm still fighting. So, this poem is dedicated to anybody who is struggling, who's in a dark place. I can't tell you when things will get better, if things will get better. But I can tell you that there are resources out here. There are, and I know you need insurance for so many things. So if you have the medical insurance that covers mental health, or you can get Medicaid or anything to help you, there are resources. And there are so many programs from DBT to CBT to talk therapy to medication, creative writing, there are so many outlets. So where one may not work and you've tried them all, maybe one will work for you. So this is just encouragement, and I just want to thank everyone who purchased one of these books. So in celebration of reaching 100 copies, for anyone who already purchased any these books, I am going to be doing a giveaway. So if you have purchased a copy of Chasing Happiness, just send proof of purchase and you will be entered into a drawing where you can either win a $10 Amazon gift card, or you can win a copy of any one of these books, and I'll be mailing it to your address of choice. And if the book hits 100 copies for Chasing Happiness, I will also do a second drawing. If it reaches 100 copies by March the 1st, then that same contest, $10 Amazon gift card or a book of your choice.